You tell people it's because you're humble. You tell your partner, your friends, and your family, please, no fuss. I don't want a surprise party. I don't want the attention, just a quiet dinner. You wrap this preference in the language of modesty. You frame it as introversion. You pretend that you are simply too low maintenance for the balloons, the confetti, and the screaming crowd. You act like the cool girl or the stoic man who doesn't need external validation. That is a lie. You don't hate surprise parties because you are humble. You don't hate them because you are an introvert. You hate surprise parties because you are a control freak who is terrified of being perceived without a script. Let's be honest about what happens when you walk into that room. The lights are off. You suspect nothing, or maybe you suspect everything and you're praying you're wrong. You unlock the door. You are in your transit state. Your face is slack. Your shoulders are slumped. You are decompressing. You are effectively naked. Then click, the lights blind you. Surprise. 50 people scream at you. A camera is shoved in your face. In that millisecond before your brain catches up, you don't feel joy. You don't feel gratitude. You feel cornered. You feel ambushed. Your heart rate doesn't spike from excitement. It spikes from a threat response. But you can't show that. You have exactly 0.5 seconds to suppress the fight or flight response and replace it with a smile. You have to perform delighted surprise. You hate surprise parties because they demand an acting performance you didn't audition for, in front of an audience you didn't curate, at a time you didn't choose. It's not modesty, it's a breach of your perimeter. Let's drill down into the actual friction of the event. Why is this so exhausting for you? Because a surprise party is a debt. The moment they yell surprise, a transaction has occurred. They have given you a gift of effort, organization, and secrecy. Now, you are immediately in debt. You must pay them back instantly with a reaction that matches their effort. If they spent $500 in 3 weeks planning this, and you react with a mild, oh wow thanks, you are the villain, you know this. You are hyper-aware of social dynamics, so now you are working. While everyone else is drinking and laughing, you are managing the emotional temperature of the room. You are scanning the faces of the organizers. Did I look surprised enough? Are they happy that I'm happy? You aren't the guest of honor. You are the hostage of honor. You feel a dissociation kick in. You are watching yourself from the corner of the ceiling. You see yourself hugging Aunt Linda. You see yourself laughing at a joke you didn't hear. You see yourself thanking your partner, kissing them, performing the role of the grateful partner. But inside there is a static noise, a hum of irritation. You are thinking, I wanted to take my shoes off. I wanted to watch Netflix. I wanted to not be perceived. The friction comes from the lag between your internal state, exhaustion, need for solitude, and the external demand, high energy, gratitude. Bridging that gap requires massive amounts of glucose and willpower. It creates a unique type of resentment. You resent them for loving you incorrectly. You resent them for prioritizing their need to give a party over your need not have one. And then you feel guilty for the resentment. You think, I am a monster. These people love me. Why can't I just enjoy this? That guilt is the cognitive friction. That is the hell you live in for the entire 4 hours of the party. You are trapped between I hate this and I should love this. Who are you really? If we strip away the introvert label, what's left? You are the director. You are the scriptwriter. You move through life with a plan. You optimize. You mentally rehearse conversations before they happen. You check the menu before you get to the restaurant so you know exactly what to order. You Google the parking situation before you drive to a new location. Why do you do this? To mitigate variance. For you, the unknown is not an adventure. The unknown is a margin for error. You curate your identity carefully. You have a work self, a partner self, and a parent self. You transition between these roles with deliberate intention. You put on your armor before you leave the house. A surprise party strips you of the transition time. It forces the home self, the vulnerable, tired, unguarded version of you, to suddenly perform the duties of the public self without the warm-up. It is a violation of your sovereignty. You view your life as a project to be managed. You are the CEO of you, Inc. When someone throws a surprise party, they are effectively having a hostile takeover. They have seized operations. They have decided what you will eat, who you will talk to, and when you will sleep. To the director, this isn't a party. It's insubordination. You feel disrespected because they didn't consult you. And the fact that they didn't consult you means they don't know you. That's the deepest cut at this layer. You realize, standing there with the frozen smile, that if they really knew you, if they really understood the architecture of your mind, they never would have done this. The party is proof of a disconnection. They are celebrating a version of you that likes surprises. That version doesn't exist. They are celebrating a stranger. Now we dig. Why do you need this much control? Why is being seen without preparation so terrifying? Let's go back. For the people who love surprise parties, childhood was safe. Surprises were good. A surprise meant a puppy. A surprise meant Disney World. A surprise meant dad came home early. For you, surprise was never a puppy. In a volatile home, surprise means the mood has shifted. Surprise means mom is drinking again. Surprise means dad found the report card. Surprise means we are moving in the middle of the night. You developed a hypervigilant nervous system. You became a scanner. You learned to read the micro-tremors in the floorboards to know who was walking down the hall. You learned to gauge the air pressure in a room to see if it was safe to speak. Your survival depended on prediction. Your safety depended on knowing exactly what was going to happen next. If you knew what was coming, you could brace for it. You could script your defense. You could hide. A surprise party triggers this ancient alarm system. When the lights go out and people jump at you, your body doesn't know it's a birthday. Your body remembers the ambush. Your body remembers the feeling of being caught off guard when the stakes were high. You hate surprise parties because you have a trauma response to uncertainty. Furthermore, you likely have a wound regarding needs. Growing up, maybe your needs were minimized. You learned to make yourself small. You learned that having needs made you a burden, so you became low maintenance. You became the person who doesn't need anything. A surprise party shines a massive spotlight on your needs. It makes you the center of the universe. For someone who learned to survive by blending into the wallpaper, this is excruciating. It feels dangerous to be looked at by that many people. If they look too closely, they might see the cracks. They might see that you aren't the competent, pulled-together director. They might see the scared kid who is just trying to predict the next blow. You protect that kid by controlling the environment. The surprise party shatters that control. So here we are. You're the Grinch. You're the wet blanket. You're the ungrateful partner. Or maybe you're just a survivor who hasn't told anyone the war is over. I am not going to tell you to ask for a surprise party. I'm not going to tell you to get over it and enjoy the balloons. You are wired how you are wired, but we need to address the rigidity. The armor is too heavy and it's crushing you. The problem isn't the party. The problem is your intolerance for being loved in a way you didn't script. You demand love on your terms. Love me quietly. Love me predictably. Love me logically. But love is clumsy. Love is messy. Love is often a projection of the giver, not the receiver. Your partner didn't throw that party to torture you. They threw it because they express love through celebration. They wanted to see you shine. They failed the execution, but the intent was pure. Here is your micro-action. It has nothing to do with a party. The drill, the unscripted Tuesday. I want you to let someone else pick the restaurant this week. And here is the rule. You are not allowed to look at the menu online beforehand. That's it. You are going to walk into a place you haven't vetted. You are going to sit in a chair you didn't choose. You are going to read the menu for the first time in real time. You will feel the itch. You will feel the director screaming that the reviews might be bad, the parking might be expensive, the food might be mediocre. Let it scream. Sit in the discomfort of the unoptimized moment. When the food comes and it's just okay, realize that you didn't die. Realize that the world didn't end because you relinquished control for 60 minutes. You need to build tolerance for the variable. You need to teach your nervous system that surprise does not equal danger. If you can do that with a taco, eventually, you can do it with love. You can eventually let people love you clumsily without resenting them for it. You can eventually drop the director role and just be a character in the scene, because the script you've been writing, it's boring, it's safe, it's predictable, and it's lonely. Let someone else write a page for once. You are not broken because you hate the noise. You are just protecting a part of yourself that was never allowed to be surprised. But you're safe now. You're an adult. You have the credit card. You have the keys. You can handle a bad party. You can handle an awkward moment. Stop optimizing your life out of existence. The friction you feel is the cost of being alive. Embrace the lag. The next time someone tries to surprise you, don't fake the smile. Just breathe. Look them in the eye and try just for a second to accept the chaos. It's just a party. It's not a trap. If you want to dismantle the rest of your defenses, click the link below to join the newsletter. We don't do surprises there. Just the work. See you next time.